Hello and welcome back to Brentford Fan TV. I'm Ben.
And I'm Freddie, and this is going to be a transfer roundup video for Brentford FC. We're going to go from Bryan Mbeumo to Flecken to Kelleher to even the Thomas Frank news. And so we're going to start with the Bryan Mbeumo news, and he has reportedly chosen Man United as his number one choice.
Yeah.
Take it away.
I'm going to start with saying that there was a huge amount of clubs wanting him. Most notable being Newcastle. I think even Arsenal wanted him.
Yeah.
And he chose Man United. And I was just thinking, he turned down Champions League clubs in the Champions League with good squads for Man United. He finished 16th.
It's so silly because Newcastle seemed like the perfect fit because it's like they've got a great team. He's almost like the final piece of the puzzle for them, and a lot of Newcastle fans are really frustrated that he's chosen Man United as where he wants to go, and it makes no sense. There's no, like you said, no Europe at Man United. They're going to a team with terrible players, a manager who doesn't know what he's doing, in my opinion.
I don't think any manager going to Man United knows what they're doing now, though.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's not an idiot, Amarim, but it's like, it's not showing on the pitch.
I just don't think Man United have the squad.
Yeah. Even Spurs were interested in him, and that's an upgrade on Man United because they're in the Champions League. They have a better budget they can probably use being a Champions League club. But so it just doesn't make sense.
And I just as you were saying about Newcastle, he'd be the perfect piece of the puzzle. They'd have a front. If they'd kept their players, they would have had a front three. And Mbeumo chose them. They would have a front three: Gordon, Isaac, and Mbeumo.
It's pretty dangerous.
That is world class.
Yeah.
That is close to world class at least.
Yeah.
That would have been amazing. But again, I'd rather him stay at Brentford, but that's not happening anymore.
Well, something I saw Jay Harris report on Twitter, apparently, since he was a kid, Mbeumo has been a Man United fan, apparently. And so that's, I guess, working in United's favour.
Yeah.
But also, something that works in Man United's favour is apparently he's going to be earning £250,000 a week at Man United.
Which is...
He's going to be earning over £1 million a month at Man United.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely outrageous.
Yeah, why would you turn that down?
Exactly. But then again, surely he'd be earning, near 200k a week at Newcastle.
Yeah,
because they've got the money to spend.
A lot at Newcastle.
Because, Newcastle, they have to be careful with how much they can spend in the market. But they can pay their players whatever they like. Like, there's no real rules on that are going to get them transfer bans. And so, it's a very sad day for Brentford when he chose Man United as his option, but it's not going smooth sailing just yet because Man United have made an offer, but it has been rejected.
Yes, their offer was 45 million plus 10 million add-ons, which is way lower than our asking price.
Yes,
exceeding 65 million. So
I think our asking price is at least 60 million.
Yeah,
that's not even that's 55 million, and 10 million of it are add-ons.
Yeah.
Knowing Man United, the add-ons are going to be £5 million if he wins the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah.
Another 2 million if he wins the league with United. They're probably completely useless, the Man United add-ons anyway.
Yeah, because
it's Man United.
Yeah, and the most notable being they had a Ballon d'Or clause in Martial's contract. So it shows what they're like. But they are currently sizing up a second bid, and they are in talks with the club. So
by the time this video comes out, it's probably going to be public knowledge what that second bid is.
Yeah.
I think I've heard it'll be a package up to 60 million, but I don't know.
I think...
In my opinion, we shouldn't be taking anything less than 60 million from Mbeumo, excluding the add-ons.
Yeah.
60 million plus 5 add-ons. 60 million outright. Whatever.
Yeah.
For me, it should be 60 million, and it needs to be paid by the end of the season because, clubs like to do it in instalments. For me, 60 million. You got one season to pay it off. Yeah. That's my genuine opinion.
Yeah, because that would be great for us because we'd get enough to we'd redistribute it around, getting new players, and also it's a reasonable price.
Yeah,
like because his contract's ending next year anyway.
But then you have to remember he does have a 1-year extension clause in his contract, like David Raya had when he had a year left in his contract, and so clubs were trying to lowball us for him. In the end, he went on loan to Arsenal, and we extended his contract with that trigger by 1 year.
Yes.
And so, he has 1 year left in his contract, but there is always the possibility of extending it by a year just for ease of access.
Yeah, but I do hope this deal gets underway a lot quicker than that David Raya deal did.
Yeah.
I don't want... it'd be good if we get it in this first half of the window.
Yeah.
Because then we got that money to reinvest.
Oh, definitely. I think... Yeah, what's good at least about this deal is that it looks like Mbeumo will be gone from Brentford within the next 2 weeks, which is just good. We've got the money in early, and we can just fully focus on replacing him. Because like when we sold David Raya, we were in pre-season and we had Raya and Flecken, and it was like a bit of a dynamic in pre-season where Raya wasn't even getting any game time. He was just on the bench for every game while Flecken played every game.
Yeah.
And so, if he's got to go, which it looks like he will, which we've all come to accept, it's just good if we can get it done early and hopefully for the right money.
Yeah.
Now onto the goalkeeper position, and we've done all of our goalkeeper business within the first week or two of the season even ending. And, good to have stuff done early, but as I'm sure you guys know by now, Mark Flecken has left Brentford to join Bayer Leverkusen for £12 million, and Kelleher has joined Brentford from Liverpool for £18 million. Thoughts, then?
Yeah, I think... I really like Flecken. I think he's a great keeper. But he's gotten older in the few years he's been here, of course. But it's not... We've been able to fill the void so quickly, and we got Kelleher, a very well-known name in the goalkeeping world.
Yeah.
And he's a young player as well, so he's got a long future at the club. And I think it's a win-win for both parties.
Yeah, so I think it's pretty good business from us.
Yeah.
I am sad to see Flecken leave, because obviously the first season didn't start very well for a long time. But, I mean, this last season he's been really good for us. Most saves. I think he's got one of the most saves ever in the Premier League.
Well, yeah. I knew he definitely got this season.
Yeah, and... Yeah, I mean, his play on the ball, passing out the back, is always really good.
Yeah.
Distribution's pretty good as well. His shot stocking's been very good this season, as we know.
Yes.
Although, I mean, the Fulham game, he had an absolute howler. And so, he does go back to old ways every now and then of not being very good. But no, I think it's a very difficult position to replace goalkeeper. And so I'd rather have kept him for another season, just so we know we have someone we can trust in goal, who has that built-in relationship with the centre-backs. But then again, if it's only 6 million difference from Flecken to Kelleher for someone who's 5 or 6 years younger than Flecken and pretty proven, obviously he's not first team proven, but he's had plenty of appearances for Liverpool.
He's had a few amazing cup runs with them as well.
Yeah, well, he's won about 6 trophies with them.
Yeah. He won them that penalty shootout in the Carabao Cup as well.
Yeah, and so I think we hopefully are going into safe hands of Kelleher. But I am sad to see Flecken go.
I am very sad, but think about it, it's a great move for Flecken.
Yeah,
joining a Champions League side that's had a great few years, they've been turned around, and it must be really exciting for him.
Under Dutch manager Ten Hag now.
Yeah. Interesting to see how he does there. But back to Kelleher, and I think, as you're mentioning about the centre-back pairing with the goalkeeper, Kelleher's already got some links.
Yeah.
He's played with Collins at Northern Ireland.
You've offended some people.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But I've got a lot of notes. And anyway, For Ireland, he's played with Collins and he played with Sepp van der Berg a bit at Liverpool. So he knows the two centre-backs.
Yeah, I think that's just a really good start to build on. So hopefully it can work out very well. And in a year's time, we'll be reflecting on this and we'll be thinking, 18 million, what a steal.
Yeah, it does seem like that.
So, I mean, yeah, we do like a little deal with Liverpool these days.
Yeah, 3
Kelleher,
players.
Van der Berg, Carvalho. Hey, what about Joe Gomez or Joao Kwanzaa? I know they might be up for sale, I've heard. But
okay, I don't think Kwanzaa would be, but I guess.
Yeah.
I haven't really seen much Liverpool news.
Well, anyway, I think good business from us. Only 6 million
business,
for a player who's 6 years younger, so, and hopefully better. As we know, with his, as you mentioned, his penalty record's really good.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, moving on to Michael Coddie and Yahoo.
Yeah. And though Coddie's been with us since January on loan, we've now accepted the clause and he's been made permanent for a fee around 15 million, which is a great price.
Yeah, I think he's been so good for us. We look completely different with and without him.
Yes.
And if there wasn't a clause where we could sign him for that price, honestly, I think big clubs would have gone in for him if we didn't have a clause.
Yeah.
Because he's been outstanding for us. I mean, we've spoken so much about him in recent videos, so it's almost like there's nothing left to say, but I'm just so glad that we've got him knocked down. There will be a bit of competition now with him and Aaron Hickey at right back.
Yeah.
But competition's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing because it gets the players competitive.
Yeah.
Playing the best football they can. So it will be exciting to go into the season with 2 fit right backs competing for that spot.
I just suddenly had a thought. I just remembered Mads Roslev exists.
Oh yeah,
he'll be coming
from loan.
He'll be coming back from loan. I don't think Wolfsburg want to sign him. So see if he has a place at Brentford or another loan or a permanent move.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Coyote. And then Yeho Yarmola,
yes.
He has signed a new contract with us until 2031, which is really exciting.
It's amazing.
He's improved so much, especially towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
Honestly, he looks like the future of our midfield.
And he's definitely a regular starter at this point.
Yeah. And, well, his good form isn't going unnoticed because we've rejected an offer from Napoli to sign him. Now that's saying a lot.
It is, yeah.
They've just won the Scudetto in Serie A. Yeah. And so, hey.
The fact that the fact that our player is wanted by such a big club.
A player who's never got a goal contribution for Brentford's professional team.
Yeah.
Senior team.
Yeah, but the fact that we've got an offer from Napoli for him.
Yeah.
But we've gone and rejected it, and
we're not even listening to offers. We're just saying, no, we want him.
He's part of our plans, and it's just crazy that we have that level of player at our starting lineup in the midfield, and he's going to continue to stay there until 2031.
Yeah, well, hopefully until then.
Yeah.
I mean, that just says how much of a good player he is.
Yeah.
We're not the only people rating him, and so hopefully he can just continue that trajectory, becoming a world-class player.
Yeah.
But instead reach Europe with Brentford and not Napoli.
That'd be an amazing story. And now on to a player we've been interested in for a while, and today as of recording we've finally put in an offer.
His name is Anthony Milambo, and he is a centre mid / cam from Feyenoord, and he's Dutch.
Yeah.
I don't know too much about him. That's all I know about him. But I mean, there's Instagram accounts like Brentford Fan Hub, and they've been making posts about him like every now and then for a while, like saying we're interested.
It's been a while.
But as you said, today we actually made an offer. I think it was 19 million euros plus maybe 3 million add-ons or something, and it's expected to be rejected, that offer.
Okay, yeah.
Because you're never going to offer too much on your first bid.
Yeah. Also, Feyenoord is quite a big club compared to us.
True, but I do believe apparently he's open to joining us and coming to England, and so
there's been reports that he's been in England and had talks, but
So I mean, obviously we don't know too much about him personally, but it sounds like an exciting young player who could come into our team.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, say if it was over 20 million, it's still a lot, but yeah. I'm sure we'd give him a year or two to settle in.
Yeah, and it'd bring some competition to the midfield. That's already pretty good.
But hey, I mean, yeah, Norgard is 32 now, probably. You know, people don't last forever. People get offers from Napoli and sometimes might be off.
Yeah.
But not Yamo. But yeah.
Yeah.
And then our final transfer story of the video is the mighty Thomas Frank.
Yes.
And it is the case of him possibly going to Spurs.
Yeah, so it was reported a while ago, probably around a week, that Ange would be sacked. But that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, it hasn't happened yet.
So, do we know how true that is? Could be fairly true. But apparently Thomas Frank is in the lead to take over as their manager, which, yeah.
Not a good sign for us.
Not good for us, no.
Apparently he's also held talks with Levy. I mean, that would make sense if he's the favourite to take over from Ange. But I don't get it. Because I think the players love Ange, the fans love Ange.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a project, Ange Postecoglou at Spurs.
It is.
Because he joined, and in his first month or two, he lost Harry Kane. He still got them a top 5 finish. This season, it's been terrible.
Yeah, terrible in the league,
17th place is unexcusable.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how many injuries he's had, he should be doing better with Spurs. But then again, he's won the Europa League and now then the Champions League next season. And so, for me, just give him one more year, because it's a project.
Yeah, I think he's good enough manager to right his wrongs for this season.
Yeah, Thomas Frank, he could go into Spurs and do well, but don't expect success straight away, like Ange has just brought in this season in the Europa League. And so, in my opinion, Spurs should stick with Ange, and I think most fans want them to stick with Ange.
Yeah, it seems like it just seems like, why would you let him go after he's just won you a trophy for the first time in ages?
Yeah. But if Thomas Frank was to go to Tottenham, I mean, well, I can deal with us losing Mbeumo. I can deal with us losing 1 or 2 big players a season. If that happens and Thomas Frank leaves, I think we're in big trouble. And, you know, it gets worse than that. If Thomas Frank goes to Spurs, does he think, we need a fullback or whatever, I'm going to sign this player from Brentford? Like, is he going to just, like, pick apart the Brentford players?
And, would players like Wissa, Norgard maybe come with him?
Yeah.
Would they?
I mean, Norgard just signed a new deal.
Yeah,
but Wissa, I mean, Spurs actually are interested in Wissa. And actually, I'm sure I saw an article or something saying in Thomas Frank's meeting with Levy, they spoke about potential players from Brentford, and apparently Wissa was on the list of like players who could help Spurs. So, if Thomas Frank does leave for Spurs, it could be very bad for us.
Yeah.
But as it stands, his contract is until 2027 with Brentford, and so hopefully, come next season, he'll be on the touchline for us.
Yes.
Not Spurs.
Yeah, I'm currently holding out that he will stay. Because I'm just thinking, it's been a while since it was reported Ange will be sacked. Nothing's happened yet. No developments have been stated since. And it's just people have been repeating the same stories.
Exactly.
And I'm just thinking back to a year ago or two, Thomas Frank apparently had talks with Man United.
Yeah.
And then he chose to stay at Brentford.
Exactly.
So I'm still holding out for the fact that Thomas Frank will be our manager next season.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'm keeping a wary eye on news.
Yeah.
So.
But as all clubs do, when like say Mbeumo, he looks to be out the door, we're already trying to prepare the right winger who's going to replace him. With Thomas Frank, the possibility of him going out the door, apparently we have held talks with Kieran McKenna to come in as the new Brentford manager. Obviously, I don't want Thomas Frank to go, but if he were, I think Kieran McKenna would be a very good replacement. He knows the league.
Yes.
And I think he's a very good young manager.
Yeah, it'd be very interesting to see what develops with this. I wouldn't mind Kieran McKenna, but I also don't want to think... I don't want to think about it, because I want Thomas Frank to be a great manager. And
he's supposed to stay for another 10 years, isn't he?
Yeah, it wouldn't
become
be
a legend.
Wouldn't be the same for the start, at least, without him. It takes some getting used to.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like, especially in our recent history, all we've known is Thomas Frank.
Yeah.
It's so long since we've had another manager. And, we have the good history right now of turning over good players, like making good signings, turning them into world-class strikers and selling them on. We haven't done that in a long time with a manager, so it's not going to be easy.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And we'll see you soon.